Michael's an author. He's a lecturer at IU's Kelly School of Business. He's worked at the State House and worked with state government. And with that, I'd like to introduce Michael and thank you for being here today.
I actually met Professor Leppert through a presentation. It was a Toastmasters Club general meeting and he was a guest speaker. And throughout the presentation, I was hooked. I could not look elsewhere.
In my first speech, I was a total nervous wreck, but the important point is that I wasn't scared, and that was because Michael Leppert created such a friendly environment.
My first speech was honestly terrible. I was shaking so hard, I was so scared, and I ended my speech with, okay, so thanks.
Yeah, well, primarily what I do is I try to train young people to try and get comfortable with just the task of connecting with people. The energy is a big part of that task, a big part of the attraction to the team, and so don't let that wane. So keep that in mind, that where you were at when you started, stay there. That's good. But one of the things that I think is the biggest barrier for people in presentation form, in speech form, and in conversation form is the anxiety that comes with saying the right thing, being comfortable with the messages that they're delivering, those kinds of things. And that anxiety is the thing that I spend a lot of time specializing right now. I have a student that at the beginning of the semester came up to me in the first week of class and said, I just want you to know, I realize we have speeches to give in this writing class, but I'm terrified of public speaking. And I said, well, do you want to work on that? And she said, you really want to actually work on this? And I said, yeah, first of all, I want to know what you're scared of. And she said, that sounds like therapy. And I laughed at that. And the truth of it is, it feels like therapy. If you want to have a deeper conversation, don't just say why, say how did you come to feel that way? Tell me how you got there. When did this start for you?
When I do public speaking, I get pretty nervous, and the very first time I couldn't really get a read on him, but when it was done, I found out just how kind he was, because all he wanted to do was focus on how to improve my performance for future interviews or run-throughs on our presentations.
Since that speech, I had an amazing final presentation that I would like to think is unlike any other. I got nominated for Best Speaker on 2 separate occasions during my MBA program, and specifically highlighted as a strong conversational speaker.
One of the things that I think that people make the mistake of is that when they get charged with communicating to a group of people, whether it's people that they manage or people that are strangers to them, that they only have one day or one window of opportunity to talk to them, most people make the mistake of believing that they need to perform, that they need to get up and they need to act a certain way, and that they need to nail this speech and get people to laugh hysterically or cry sentimentally or whatever it is that they need to do. What's always going to be the best strategy is for them to be comfortable being themselves.
The biggest thing that Professor Leppert has taught me was to embrace who I am and to utilize my creativity and my uniqueness as a skill rather than something to be scared of.
And so teaching people conversation science and how to connect with people in a one-on-one situation tends to be part of that process. What do people hear when you're talking to them? What is it that they need to hear so that they will listen to you? How can you present to them so that they trust you and that you have a sense of credibility in whatever room that you're in?
One thing I learned from Michael Leppert is how to be relatable and tailor a presentation to a specific audience.
Professor Leppert is one of the best storytellers that I have ever come across. And so if you give him some of your time, then he would give you a change in perspective forever. You will walk out as a completely different human.